3:47 a.m. The Red Bull is warm. Your highlighter is dry. You've been staring at the same paragraph about cellular respiration for 45 minutes, but your brain stopped recording data 4 hours ago. You are the library zombie. You wear your sleep deprivation like a badge of honor. You think suffering is the currency you pay for success. Then there's him, the ghost. He's never in the library. He gets 8 hours of sleep. He hits the gym. You assume he's lazy. Or maybe he's just a genius? Wrong. He's not smarter than you. In fact, his IQ might be lower. But while you were pulling an all-nighter to grind, he was using a protocol that educational psychologists have known about for decades, but your teachers never taught you. He knows that the human brain isn't a hard drive. It's a muscle. And just like a muscle, if you train it for 8 hours straight, you don't get stronger. You get injured. I used to be the zombie. Then I found the cheat code. I stopped studying for 6 hours. I started studying for 2. And my grades didn't just stabilize, they skyrocketed. Here is the exact system. No fluff. No believe in yourself. Just the raw mechanics of how to hack your brain. Let's get real for a second. Why do you study for 8 hours? Because it makes you feel safe. It's called the illusion of competence. When you reread your notes for the 5th time, your brain says, "Hey, I recognize this." You mistake familiarity for mastery. It feels easy. It feels productive. But you aren't learning. You're soothing your anxiety. Enter Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. If you give yourself all day to study for a biology exam, your brain inevitably shifts into low power mode. You scroll TikTok for 10 minutes. You stare at the wall. You text your girlfriend. You aren't studying for 8 hours. You're studying for 90 minutes, with 6.5 hours of guilt-fueled procrastination sandwiched in between. Neuroscientists call this cognitive drift. By forcing your brain to focus for too long without intensity, you are literally training yourself to be bored. You are frying your dopamine receptors and associating learning with pain. The ghost student doesn't do this. He operates on a different philosophy entirely. An ancient concept called via negativa, improvement by subtraction. To get straight A's, you don't need more time. You need to strip away the junk so you can see the signal. We are going to take your 8-hour workday, slice off the fat, and compress the remaining muscle into a 120-minute kill box. This is where we leave the average student behind. From this moment on, you don't study. You execute a mission. You have exactly 2 hours. Not a minute more. This artificial scarcity forces your brain into what evolutionary psychologists call predator mode, heightened alertness, and resource guarding. Here is the step-by-step protocol. Phase 1, the setup. Most people fail before they sit down. Your phone? If it's on your desk, you've already lost. Studies show that the mere presence of a smartphone reduces cognitive capacity by 20%. Put it in another room. Turn on Do Not Disturb. Better yet, turn it off now. Define the boss monster. Don't write down study history. That's vague. Your brain hates vague. Write down. Memorize the causes of the French Revolution. Specific targets get hit. Vague targets get missed. Phase 2, the deep dive. This is the meat. For the next 50 minutes, we do not highlight. We do not reread. We use active recall. Specifically, the blurting method. Read a section. Close the book. Hide your notes. Now, write down everything you remember. It's going to be hard. You're going to struggle to find the words. You're going to feel stupid. Good. That struggle, that mental friction, that is the feeling of myelin wrapping around your neurons. That is neuroplasticity. If studying feels easy, you are wasting your time. If it feels like you're mentally lifting a heavy squat, you are growing. Phase 3, the reset. You've done 50 minutes of deep work. Your prefrontal cortex is overheating. You have 10 minutes. Do not touch your phone. If you scroll Instagram, you blast your brain with cheap dopamine and overwrite the memory trace you just built. Instead, let your mind wander. This activates the default mode network. It's the background process your brain uses to consolidate short-term memory into long-term storage. Stare at a wall, drink water, be boring. Phase 4, the synthesis. Back in the chair. Now, we prove we know it. Use the Feynman technique. Pretend you are teaching the concept to a 5-year-old. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it. You've just memorized the jargon. Then, grab a practice exam. Apply the knowledge immediately. Data without application is just noise. And then, stop. I don't care if you aren't finished. I don't care if you're on a roll. Close the book. Walk away. This utilizes the Zeigarnik effect. The brain hates unfinished tasks. By stopping midstream, your subconscious will chew on that problem all night long. You'll wake up the next day wanting to finish it. The system is simple, but 90% of you won't do it. Do you know why? Because it requires courage. It takes courage to close the book after 2 hours when your friends are pulling all-nighters. It takes courage to trust the system over your anxiety. You have been conditioned to believe that you are a struggling student. That is an identity you cling to because it gives you an excuse for failure. I worked so hard, I just didn't get it. Drop that story. You are not a struggling student. You are a data sniper. You get in. You take the shot. You get out. You don't measure your worth by how much you suffer. You measure it by the results on the scoreboard. 2 hours, no phone, active recall, painful intensity. That's the trade. You give me 120 minutes of hell, and I'll give you back your life. Here is the challenge. Try the kill box for 3 days. If your grades don't go up and your stress doesn't disappear, come back and dislike this video. But if you are ready to stop being a zombie and start operating like a ghost, drop a comments. I want to see who is actually serious about this and who is just here to watch another video and do nothing. Be the sniper.